Welcome to Ralph's house. A couple of people have asked me about this thing. I mean, look at the blade in proportion to my hand. Tiny circular saw. Yeah, I got it for Lidl. I think it was about 40 quid, something like that. But it's known as a plunge saw. And on a job like this, I mean, when the plumbers came in, bless their hearts, they used a circular saw, which meant when they cut across the boards, they tend to end up cutting into the next one. But this one's pretty precise. You can cut almost up to the line. You can also set the depth of the floorboard as well, so you don't end up cutting through all the joists and stuff. Yeah, that's what it is. It's called a plunge saw. I thought I'd show you this because sometimes when you're trying to thread cable under floorboards, and I'm in the box room and I want to join into a socket right on the other side of the room, well, trying to feed a cable through over that length, you know, it's going to snag on all this lath and plaster. You'd never get it through. So what I do is take a very long length. They sort of come in 3 metre lengths, these things, 2 or 3 metre. And the good thing about it is if you can get the conduit through all right, you can sort of direct that, but then you've got a hole through which you can pass your cable, and that does help. And if you keep pushing it, usually you'll be able to pick it up the other end. Good tip. There you go, I've pushed it through from next door, and it's come right. I haven't had to lift any boards at all until I get to here, and there she is. Easy enough. Just put some bonding plaster in that. If you're wondering what that's doing there, that's to keep the cables in the back of the cutout, because otherwise they tend to bow out, and I don't want them that near the surface. You can normally sort of put the cables in a sort of curve, and then when you pull them up, they'll stay flat. But these ones are refusing to do so, and I don't really want to use cable clips. You know, the bricks are too hard to knock cable clips into, and the render's too soft, so you know it's a lose-lose on that. So I find that's what I have to do. I have to prop something against the cables to push them flat to the box, put the bonding plaster in, and then the next day remove that and then fill up the bit that's left. Bonding plaster in there. That cable won't be connected until all that's gone off, and of course, because the whole thing, all these sockets sort of loop in, loop out. So this is live from next door. This was the only socket I had live. Then and the power's off at the moment, obviously. Then I'll link that cable in, which goes up here, around here, comes up to this socket. That way, that live, and I'll loop back down again, come back. What a route this has been. Round here, it'll go up there, and up to that socket there. Then there's one that comes down. Well, you saw me doing that with a bit of conduit earlier. They go straight through to next door. And I'm delaying putting sockets in here and chasing them in, because to be honest I can do them any time. But what I am going to do is pull the relevant cables up, but I won't connect them at that last socket in that bedroom yet until these boxes are chased in. So there will be one there, and there will be one there, and that will be the last socket. I'm not putting a socket on that wall because it's lath and plaster. The same with that one. I know you can get boxes that will do that, but I've got 2 brick walls, so stick with that and we'll live with that in here. It's better than what was there, you know, a surface mounted one on the skirting board. So that's the sort of sockets taken care of today, as much as I can do, because I'm generally waiting for the plaster to go off. But because the way I work sometimes is a bit chaotic, because I'm having to jump from one job to the other. Bit of painting of the wall, which I've been doing. Yeah, I've been doing mist coats around here so that I can pick up all the defects. I have already filled a lot of these holes anyway. But important that you get these mist coats on. I found a hole there, I've got to fill that with plaster. That will have gone off by the morning. Put some filler over it, that'll be that. That area there where the picture rail is, I've got flat. This one I haven't. That's why I've only gone so far. But you know, if you've got a bit of bare wall, get a mist coat on it, and then you know, you can come back to these. It's not a problem. What I'm trying at the top, kind of against my better judgment, is I've sanded it where there's been bits of flaky paint, PVA'd the spot so it hits the plaster that's been exposed, then wipe the whole wall off so there's no PVA actually on the paint, then put a dollop of filler in it just to bring it all level again, and we will see how that does. You know, it could well be that I get, you know, 10 years out of it like that, but on the other hand it may peel. But this is actually going to be quicker than bloody wallpapering, I think. Yeah, so I've done a bit there. I've got big expenses of it up here, which is what I'm going to do this afternoon. Hit those and see what we can do with them. Yeah. I want to also drop down the wires for the pendant. I think the plan was to have a mad painting weekend on the 21st with help from others. Realistically, it's... Well, they're not going to be painting in this room, that's for sure, because this room is just going to have too much dust and it's going to go into the 21st and past the 21st, realistically. So I'm going to declare this room my domain, and if people want to come around, you know, touch up the other two rooms which do need it and strip down the stairs, yeah, that's great, and any help I can get. But in here, no, people are just going to be under my feet, frankly, and right now I don't need that. So yeah, because I've got the boards up and I need to keep them up until you know, all the cables have been put through. There's a couple I can put in. That one down the far end now can go back and be screwed down, which is what I'm going to do as soon as I've removed this support to hold the cable in, so I can't get the board in. Otherwise I'll start boarding it back down now and screwing the boards down. So you're always, you know, you're always kind of waiting for something. I think what I'll do is I'm going to put the kettle on, because I've been here a few hours, and make myself an instant cappuccino. That sounds like a good idea. But yeah, I think just carry on as I am at the moment. Filling, mist coat, and then final paint. And all these flaky bits, I should just scrape them, PVA them, fill them, and then mist coat it. And then we'll see how it looks. If at a later date, because the plan was to put lining paper on in here, which probably is the best way. Time is my problem, so I'm going to you know, just covering over crap with lining paper, I'm not going to do that. It's still got to be reasonably level, otherwise you'll see lumps and bumps everywhere. But if I have to do it in lining paper later, I can do it in lining paper, it's no bother. Just, you know, dust sheet the room and, you know, line the walls. But you know, at the moment I need to get it white and clean and habitable, because we've got about, what have we got now? We're sort of into a couple of weeks. You know, it's a bit tight, so you know, we need power up here. That's the other thing. So yeah, if they can do the stairs for me, that means I can get everything painted up here. All these rooms are painted, get painted down the stairs, and the upper half of the house is clean and white, and we won't worry too much about downstairs immediately, but at least we can move into it and you know, sort out some kind of life in it. Yeah, so that's it from Rel's house today. I am going to carry on. I'm going to carry on as long as I can today. Sanding, PVAing, filling, mist coating, and then we'll just see how these walls come up. They're not too bad at the moment. Yeah, in an ideal world, I'd like a sharper line on that corner. Really, it should all plaster should be chipped off. You know, proper corner protector on it. But it's all right. We'll live with it. As long as it's nice and clean, I'll be happy with that. Apologies in my last video. It's Amanda and Steve with their 50-inch TV. Hello. Just thought I'd mention you. So, like, or or dislike, particularly if you dislike what I'm doing, leave a comment, and we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.